So in this way, we have different methods are applied over here to send the certificate to the users, to other users. For example, so here in this situation, if you are using a hierarchy of multiple certification authorities which are sending the certificates to other user, so there could be a conflict can occur, because at a time it's possible that maybe a two certification authorities, they are sending the certificate to other user, for example. Or for example, there could be a different hierarchy of certification authorities, and each is sending the certificates by its own. So there's a need of some mechanism, so that, for example, if we are using multiple certification authorities and they are used to send the certificate to the user, so only at a time only the single certification authority could send the certificate to the user, so that there would be no conflict between different certification authorities. So in this way, we can also maintain that situation. Or for example, we can do this. Uh, for example, we have multiple trusted authorities or certification authorities, and we can do it with the help of like, for example, if any of the certificate authority is sending the certificate to the user. For example, there could be some messages sent to other certification authority that the certificate is being sent by me, and now you can retain the certificate. And then maybe, so this could be possible using this such type of methods. Like, for example, if any of the certification authority is sending the message or sending the certificate to the user, so other certification authorities will not send the certificate. So otherwise, if they send the certificate to the user, so there could be conflict between different certification authorities, so that we can so in this way we can fix that situation by using different certification authorities, so that at a time only their single certificate authority is sending the certificate. So the advantage of such model is that because if any of the certification authority cannot is not working, for example, and is unable to send the certificate to the users, for example, and then the certificates will be sent it by the other certificate authorities. So in this way, we can have different types of models are used, and when they are used in the system, they can also do this with the help of certification authorities. Then we have some then we have some sort of models which are working like that. They are because we are using multiple models, and they are sending the certificate to other users. And for example, in this way, it's a responsibility of the user that he will identify that particular certificate is maybe coming from a trusted authority which is sending the certificate to him. And then it becomes a responsibility to that user if we are using a multiple certificate authorities or certification authorities. So they are scalable to extend the model as well. So we can add as many certification authorities to the model as well, and we can use this. So as we discussed, when we are using such type of models, and we have a model where we have different certificates are sent it to different users. When we are sending these different certificates to different users, that means the certificate which is sent it by the sender is having a, you can say, a certification authority, which is can be only useful in this sense that if any of the certification authority is not working to send the data, or is not working to send some, you can say, certificate to other user, then other certification authority can send that certificate on behalf of that. So in this way, we can have a model that is using a single certification authority, or a model which is using a multiple certification authorities, and they are the different advantages and disadvantages of using different models which we have discussed so far. So if you have any question, then you can ask. Is there any question? So the so in this way, the public key infrastructure can be implemented on applications like a web browser, for example, where we apply different certificates on that. Different certification authority can send the certificate to the users or to the application. For example, if we are using the client server model, for example, so then the different certificates are sent it by different authorities to the client and to the server. And once they are sent it to the client and server, they would be verified by that client. They would be verified by that particular server, for example. So in this way, we have different structures of sending the certificates to different users, for example, and we have different models for that. And for example, if we are using the PGP standard, which are used to verify a particular system to encrypt that particular application, for example, to encrypt the particular data, for example, which is sent it to other system, then we can also use some model like a PGP model. So in this way, we have different structures can be used, and these different structures can be applied on different models. And for example, if any of the, you can say, data, or if any of the certificate can be revoked, for example, if it runs out of the time, so then, or it expires, for example, then it can be reissued, for example, or it can be it can, for example, reissue that particular certificate to the user, so that he can authenticate himself. So in this way, we have different types of certification models which are used to verify particular user, to verify particular, you can say, system, for example. So if it will also define some time limit for that, for example, up to that time limit, it can be used, and then it would be revoked by a certification authority. Then it would be reissued by the certification authority. So when they reissue that certificate, then it would be again that would be used to identify particular user for that. So this type of function is also helpful in the sense that because we are there's a possibility that then there could be an intruder in between, and he can get get the previous certificate, for example, and he can use or he can apply that certificate to verify itself that if it's a legitimate user. So in this way, if any of the certificate is runs out of the time or it expires, so then it should be reissued by the intruder. It should be reissued by the certification authority, so that there would be a new certificate would be used, and it can be send it to the you can say other system, and then he can verify that other user, and then the previous certificate will not be used. And in this way, we can have security functions can be applied on such type of systems. And then we have some uh, uh, we have different lists for the revocation of certificates. Like for example, there's a list of different certificates that, for example, this certificate, its validity time is that, and this certificate has its validity, and it can be send it to that particular user. So in this way, they are the different certificates, and to which they are sent it, and how much time they can be valid, for example, after how much time they would be reissued to that particular user. So in this way, the different lists are defined in the system, and that list is called as a revocation list, and which contains about the information about different certificates which are used to verify that either these different certificates are used to authenticate particular certificate, and it defines particular time limit for that. And when they define particular time limit, then it will be said that that particular certificate can be reused, can be reissued to other user, or can be resended to other user. So if you have any question up to now, then you can also ask. Is there any question? Okay, so that's all about today. So we will discuss further other topics in the next class.